Thank you very much for joining us for the midday news. To present it, my name is Marco Kozi. First, we take a look at the stories making the headlines. Desperation for jobs compels people to buy newspapers at 100 kwacha from 10 kwacha. Chief Mukuni tells the court that he fears for his life after accusations of being behind the gassing. In international news, Malians in Ivory Coast mobilized to vote in a new referendum. In sports news, Frankie Musonda optimistic as Zambia take on Ivory Coast in Africa Cup qualifier. For details of these and other stories, join us shortly after this break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back, and now the news in detail. Government Chief Whip in the National Assembly, Stafford Mulusa, has employed members of the general public to propose stiffer laws to punish those peddling hate speech and tribalism. Addressing the media at Parliament buildings Monday, Mulusa, who also serves as Solwezi Central Member of Parliament, notes with dismay sentiments from the opposition members of Parliament who have been accusing the current administration of ethnic cleansing, alleging that only certain tribes of those in the opposition in Zambia are being arrested by the police. The government chief whip adds that there is no need for the Zambia police to notify Parliament before members of Parliament can be arrested as demanded by the Patriotic Front members of Parliament. Here's a report.
On Friday, 9th June 2023, members of Parliament from the former ruling Patriotic Front at a press briefing bemoaned the continuous arrest of themselves without the notification of Parliament on various issues, stating that they would petition Parliament on the issue, explaining that the constituency members were left without representation in Parliament during their arrests. Also among their complaints was the alleged arrest of political officials from certain regions in the country, which they viewed as tribalism. Government Chief Whip in the National Assembly, Stafford Mulusa, addressed the issue, stating that it has gone out of hand as some opposition MPs have been bemoaning ethnic cleansing, which he says is not the real picture on the ground. Mr. Mulusa has called for unity in the country, stating that the named individuals have taken advantage of silence from his office.
Whereas it is very important to notify Parliament that this is the case that is there on a member of Parliament. There are times when we are in our constituencies, when Parliament is in recess. How are the police going to work? If they start with Parliament, meantime you are in Mpulungu, meantime you are in Solwezi Central, meantime you are in Mitete. The law is the law. I want us all to remember that peace is very important in the country. Peace is very, very important in the country. When you start talking about tribalism, ethnic cleansing, start accusing people of being selective, start accusing the police, that even the police, they're actually tribal, because only police from one section of Zambia is following members of Parliament. That is not true.
Other members of Parliament present, namely UPND Luwena MP Mubita Anakoka, UPND Mpulungu MP Leonard Mbao, and Independent Chasefu MP Mishak Nyambose also spoke out.
I fear we may break that which our forefathers fought for. When we talk about ethnical cleansing, it's a very strong statement or word. For me, I have to add to reflect. What do we mean by ethnic cleansing? What has happened? Who have been targeted?
We have seen that a pattern is emerging where, first of all, there was a report by one political leader that sought to paint the Anti-Corruption Commission as being a tribal institution. And they picked names of about 5 individuals out of over 200 employees. 5 individuals were named, and they gave their names with the intention to suggest or to insinuate that because these 5 individuals belong to particular tribes, therefore they are pursuing cases that are also influenced by tribal motives.
Another province rejected the PF and their politics. UPND, we got 51% votes in Northern Province.
They have vowed to face opponents head-on, stating that some individuals are taking advantage of their silence to perpetuate falsehoods. Zipporah Mshala, Carnet News, Lusaka.
Residents of Kamango area in Namarombe Ward in Chilanga district are appealing to government for help in securing over 15 hectares of land that some individuals are claiming ownership. The residents explain that Mr. Kalichini, Mr. Lisulo and Dr. Winiski are requesting them to pay 50 kwacha per square meter of land despite them having offer letters from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. The trio claiming ownership to the land is threatening to demolish the houses of the residents if they fail to pay the amount.
Amidst Zambia's natural beauty, the struggle for land is a thorn on the flesh of many citizens. These are Namalumbwe residents of Middle West area in Chilanga district who are uncertain about how tomorrow will be, as the land they have been dwelling on is the center of debate from 3 individuals, namely a Mr. Kalichini, Mr. Lisulo and Dr. Wininski, who are claiming ownership. The trio are claiming that the land is rightfully theirs, citing that all the land documents are in place dated from 1990 and 1991. They are since demanding that the community pays 50 kwacha per square meter of the land they own.
If you went, you can even check my file. It will show you the date I applied for this land and all the papers. It's free there. You can go and search. You can take a committee here. Let them go to Ministry of Lands and search. Let them get the actual file, not just paper, but the actual file. It will show you the date I applied for this land, the offer letters, and everything.
And the title.
And the title, yes, I've got the title. Everything is there. That's why I'm saying that's my land, because there is title. The
community is worried that despite the land offer letters being given to them by the Ministry of Land, the said trio are threatening to evict them from the land they allege it's theirs. The residents are calling for government's assistance on the matter, explaining that it's unbearable for them to pay for land more than twice.
Nakubafunza tinabafunza banakamba tipalibe bantu batipasana maofa leta after offer letter batipasa kunapezeka kuti titenge ma title deed na announcement mamotoka bapitamo timukatenge ma title deed nakupezeka tia ibene bakiba malandi baonekela bafuna 100 per meter square pa plot ameno yodinayo muli bana banshiwa muli bana bamkamfwirwa tilipepo ogwira tigwonela sweeted na mabanzi tavutika ba president mubwele kuchilanga mubwele mtiangula
twalesta maploti kuti twesa mkula vika kwempia na shimbi ngali yonseri ero vale pera maploti bali kwisa lero vese bamuneke so ine palwandi nakana sikwete education ngali pira so twafweni twapapata ba president tulovelesheni ko ina kwati palwandi pamwe ponzi nine pesa.
The residents have also challenged Mr. Kalichini, Mr. Lisulo and Dr. Wininski to provide proof of ownership of the land as they vow not to leave the area.
And when disputes started, that is in 2010, I was surprised. we formed a committee and we pursued the issue with Ministry of Lands, and I think the letters that are being shown are our proof. Today we expected that they would come with an answer because we've requested for boundary verification, but
tuleripila kuri bakanso tuleripila nomba takwali uwa kutukanya tiria landi ya chitefi nomba hapa tuiminini hapa ni pam nama ofaleta twali na bena nomba mweba ntutaito yali kosa yaba munganda mumyabo nomba ndeshi fumya kuisa
ola naisi kuno kuna malombwe davutika abantu batibutisa maningi chaoneka munga makade ambo bwerera futi tinakula malandi tikula malandi wayangana na meso maofaleta batipasa bakanso beve banyamuke palasta twafura atlandi nya
after tunakula plot kuri babere na jera after bafa ndeba mpata kamba tino landi nandi yaka but why sokoloka hapa so tifuna cancer at 10 days.
For now, they look up to government to resolve the issue. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Chilanga.
Now, there was consumer exploitation as government has published the successful applicants for over 5,000 Defence Force recruits for the year 2023. Some of the applicants talked to by Camnet News expressed disappointment that some newspaper vendors were selling the newspaper publication for as high as 100 kwacha. Others are delighted at the publication of the Defence Force applicants and feel life will change for the better. Here's a report.
Youth unemployment in Zambia still remains a challenge that the country faces, despite the youth population growing rapidly and the economy struggling to generate enough jobs to absorb this increasing workforce. In the quest to be part and parcel of the opportunities being created, some candidates who applied for the Defence Force recruitment were overtaken by their desperations as names for the successful candidates were published to the newspaper vendors. Business was booming as they paged the publication from 20 kwacha to 100 kwacha, disadvantaging others such as Elijah Daka.
At times of Zambia, I've come to buy newspaper. I want to check for my names on the list of success applicants for Zambia Air Force. Now the only challenge we have right now is because it's too expensive and that's still in demand. That's the only challenge we have at the moment. Otherwise, it's very congested here, as you can see this side, and the papers are very expensive.
But for others, hopes are still high as their search continues up to Friday. Some of the applicants are optimistic that the recruitment will be a game changer in ensuring that their standards of living are improved.
So manja paka ende for shaping a foot in the Tiasa. Rimbi hapa weni the rimbichito asangwa hapo maisha madam. Ile mnika promising maisha. Kama jina basi tu moyengi ya kuminelo mpaka yetu sangwa wama na kwa aliko kwa sangwa. Staili dakadaka siku ya masiku kwa kusha 15 mama. Ishako ya kushwari ishako Zambia polisi to ishako hapa manjo banda hapa ni nani kana hapa ni bonse hapa ni fresh sasa manje watu wanamba fio kurorera rimbi fide isa ifya next limbi shwa sasa.
During that time it was challenging. The life was challenging, though we have been surviving through farming. Yeah, farming has made us to where we are. But now we are looking forward to check the results. If my name there and I'm the successful candidate, I'm looking forward to go in the trade.
The publication of over 5,000 Defence Force applicants comes as a relief to many young people who wish to improve their lives. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The ruling United Party for National Development, UPND Secretary General Batuke Imenda has urged civil servants to work with the government of the day. Speaking in Mukushi district of the Central Province Monday, where he is inspecting projects under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, Mr. Imenda says he is aware that some civil servants are resistant of the UPND and are trying to sabotage its work in various sectors. Meanwhile, the UPND Secretary General says he is happy to see that some constituencies are utilizing the CDF as expected.
United Party for National Development UPND Secretary General Batuke Imenda has continued on his tour of various constituencies across the country to monitor how the Constituency Development Fund CDF is being used, despite resistance from members of parliament under the Patriotic Front, who say they do not want him to monitor their constituencies, as he is not from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, but is from the UPND party. The ruling party has come strong defending the tours, stating that they are the party in government and are therefore mandated to monitor development. Mr. Imenda, along with his entourage, were in Mukushi district of Central Province Monday, where he gave out a message for civil servants.
PF was not an issue. PF was already beaten, but the civil servants were the one who took us on. Agriculture, the Department of Agriculture was up against us. We haven't forgotten. Our memories are still fresh. Is this what we are seeing, a continued battle with us and the civil servants? I leave that question to you.
Meanwhile, touching on CDF, the UPND Secretary General says he is not happy with some happenings in Mukushi, as the town council has allegedly diverted 300,000 kwacha worth of funds, which were meant for the construction of a primary school, and have channeled the funds towards the purchase of desks, which have also not yet been bought.
People are stepping on the progress that the government is doing. So for you, DC, here we are against her. Yes, sir. Even your office must make sure that you do not get reports from the council. Your job, you are a presidential appointee. Yes, sir. You are the eyes of the president here. Yes, sir. Here is the president giving us this nice vehicle, yes, which is not working. In fact, I'm even questioning the wisdom behind giving the council a vehicle to supervise themselves. It means sending a thief to catch a thief.
He has also toured other projects in Mukushi, such as health posts, and was earlier in Serenje district, where he is happy with the progress of the CDF.
The scope of work for this project was the completion, which included the painting, and as well as installing window panes and doing the ablution, and also doing power connection to this block. It was already constructed by the school, so as through CDF, it was to complete, and it was given an allocation of 250,000.
Kuno kutazala twalichule myaka eyindi mukwabuka enchita y'amayinza abana balafira okwabuka okuya ku masukulu tulafira okuya ku market fyonse fyaba kwishirya nomba ikituletotera kuri ba president bakainde ichirema pakulete icd have kubantu abene baleyipangi baleyifwaile fya kuya pantanshi.
The party is currently in Central Province to check on development projects and party structures. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News.
Senior Chief Muguni of the Tokalea-speaking people of Kazungula district in the Southern Province has told the Lusaka Magistrate Court that his safety has been compromised. He says this follows the allegations against him by Economic and Equity Party leader Chilufya Tayali that he was the mastermind behind the gassing incident that took place in 2018 and left many dead. Testifying Monday afternoon before Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya, the traditional leader says the words uttered by Mr. Tayali caused him mental stress and now fears for his life, as some might believe that he was behind the gassing incident. Here's a report.
Senior Chief Mukuni of Kazungula district in Southern Province took the stand as the second prosecution witness to testify in a case where Economic and Equity Party leader Chilufya Tayali has accused him of being the mastermind behind the gassing incident. Appearing before Lusaka Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya Monday, the traditional leader disclosed how the words uttered by Mr. Tayali have caused him mental stress and affected his credibility in society. In this particular case, Mr. Tayali is facing a charge of harassment utilizing means of electronic communication contrary to Section 69 of the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act No. 2 of 2021 of the laws of Zambia. The opposition leader, while live on Facebook page, had alleged that His Royal Highness was the brainchild behind the gassing which characterized the country between 2019 and 2020. In his further testimony this afternoon, Chief Mukuni narrated before court how he now calculates his movement because his safety is compromised following the words uttered by the accused on social media, adding that he now fears for his life as some might believe the assumption that he was behind the gassing incident. Mr. Tayali had issued the alleged words on the 10th of November 2022 on the basis that the Royal Highness was doing that to have the Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, when he was still in opposition, released from prison. The traditional leaders, however, refuted the claims leveled against him by the accused. However, during cross-examination, Mr. Tayali's lawyer challenged the witness testimony, arguing that the accused never mentioned the name of the chief. The defense argued that there are two traditional leaders in Zambia carrying the title of Chief Mukuni. The first one is Chief Mukuni from the Central Province of the Lenje people, and the one from Southern Province. Trial continues in this matter. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Kamni TV News.
Former Kabushi Member of Parliament Bowman Lusambo has refused to take plea in his new corruption case, arguing that his matter be first referred to the High Court. Mr. Lusambo, who is facing 2 counts of corruptly acquiring property, wonders why he should be subjected to piecemeal prosecutions before different courts. Mr. Lusambo has asked Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibwini to instead refer his matter to the High Court for constitutional determination before he can take plea. Here's a report.
Unsatisfied that the Anti-Corruption Commission have slapped him with 2 new similar charges in relation to corruptly acquiring property, former Kabushi Area Member of Parliament Bowman Lusambo has requested the Lusaka Subordinate Court to refer his matter to the High Court for determination before he can take plea. The accused, who is already facing 10 charges before a different court, among them of being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime, before a different court where he is jointly charged with his wife, wonders why he should be subjected to a piecemeal prosecution before different courts in the matter that falls under Section 135(1) of the CPC. Allegations in the new 2 counts are that Mr. Lusambo between May 2015 and December 2021 possessed a single-story 4-bedroom house, a guest wing and a car shed located in Chamba Valley in Lusaka. But before he could take plea this morning before Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chimbwili, the accused through his lawyer applied to have the matter referred to the High Court. The accused through his defense counsel has raised a question as to whether the mitigation of spreading charges across different courts can afford fair trial in terms of Article 18 of the Constitution as read together with Section 135 of the Criminal Procedure Code. The defense have argued that the new charges the state have slapped Mr. Lusambo with ought to form part of the charges before Magistrate Fide Samaundu because they fall within the provision of Section 135 of CPC, as similar charges must be tried by the same court. Previously, prosecutors from the Anti-Corruption Commission applied before Magistrate Hamaundu to have the 2 new charges be joined to the already existing ones. But the court declined the application, arguing that progress had already been made, as adding them will require the accused to take a fresh plea. Magistrate Chimbwili has since reserved ruling on the application to the 26th of July 2023. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Kamni TV News.
On that note, we break for some commercials. We have more in international and sports news. Don't go away.
It's time! Kamni TV brings to you an exciting kids show called My Creation. Join me, Sarah Chandamagazage, to interact with kids with special skills and talents between the age range of 9 to 7-10. This show will come to you every Saturday at 13:30 on Camnet TV, not just another channel.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Welcome back, and now in international news, Nigeria's security services have detained the country's suspended central bank chief as part of an investigation into his office, the National Domestic Security Agency said on Saturday. The arrest of Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele came shortly after new President Bola Ahmed Tinubu suspended him following nearly a decade in the post. Tinubu, who came to power at the end of the last month following a highly contested February presidential election, had promised reforms to help Africa's largest economy emerge from financial troubles. Meanwhile, Malians residing in Ivory Coast are mobilizing to participate in a new referendum on June 18th to adopt a new constitution in Mali.
Malians in Ivory Coast are mobilizing to vote in favor of adopting a new constitution. Authorities in Mali announced on Friday that a much-delayed referendum would now be held on June 18th. My position is very clear. I'm going to vote and I'm going to say yes. I'm voting yes. I'm from the north. I'm from Gao. In particular, I'm 25 kilometers from Gao. All my relatives who are there are dead. Their cattle was stolen. They were killed. They went into their houses and killed them. But when the military came, I think the situation was a bit better. So in my opinion, I'm with the military. At least 200,000 to 300,000 Malians will be voting from the Ivory Coast. The Malian diaspora in Ivory Coast represents 3 million people and is the largest in the country. Amadou Toumani Touré also came to power in a coup d'etat in 1991. The constitution of 92 was proposed and adopted by a president who came out of a coup d'etat. So to say that Assimi is not legitimate to propose a constitution is bad faith, I would say, and does not reflect the reality of Mali. The new constitution is the first major step in plans the government has invoked in order to return the power to civilians.
A turn against charcoal burning in northern Uganda. As the leading supplier of charcoal in the country, northern Uganda has long been the scene of sustained forest destruction and desertification from the uncontrolled felling of trees. Local leaders are now demanding a total ban on commercial production.
The drought that we are experiencing in northern Uganda and above all in our district of Gulu, it is as a result of this destruction. And also we realize that these people who are destroying this environment, they are not the indigenous of this place. They are people who are actually imported and put in this community. And they do this thing without the mercy of leaving any vegetation, as you can see.
According to a 2018 report by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, Reliance on charcoal or firewood is highest in Africa and Asia, with some African cities almost entirely dependent on charcoal for cooking. We came from Kampala to burn charcoal here. Unfortunately, the locals who sell the trees to us are the ones turning against us to bring security officials to destroy the charcoal. We all know that we depend on charcoal, and for us who were brought here, we were jobless. So what do they expect us to do? To steal? We are here burning charcoal to provide for our families. Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni recently issued an executive order banning the commercial production of charcoal in the area, disrupting a national trade that has long been influenced by cultural sensibilities.
I mobilize all the youths in the region to stop any truck carrying charcoal, not to harm anyone, not to beat anyone, not to burn the trucks, pick the charcoal and let the people go. So we succeeded. The government was overstretched in the whole region, and we managed to make the business risky. As of now, you'll drive 100 kilometers, you will not find any single truck carrying charcoal. But previously, on a weekend like this, would have over 500 to 1,000 trucks.
Some 25 to 35% of climate-changing greenhouse gas emissions come from so-called biomass burning, which also includes seasonal fires intentionally set to clear land for agriculture, according to the European Space Agency. Nigeria's suspended central bank chief, Godwin Emefiele, has remained in custody of security services since Saturday, following an investigation into his office. The central bank chief's detainment by the Department of State Security Services, DSS, came shortly after new President Bola Tinubu's government suspended him following nearly a decade in the post. Emefiele, the suspended Apex Bank chief, was under fire recently over a policy by former President Muhammadu Buhari to replace old Naira currency notes with new ones. The policy led to a huge Naira cash shortage across Nigeria, where many rely on cash payments in the informal economy to survive. Emefiele had also attempted to run against Tinubu in the ruling party's primaries to be the party candidate for the presidency. He eventually stepped aside.
And finally, in sports news, Chipolopolo defender Frankie Musonda has declared the team ready for the forthcoming African Cup of Nations qualifier against Ivory Coast to be played at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola. Musonda says the team is putting in a lot of hours in training to ensure they are ready for the game. He says he is excited to play in front of the crowd, adding that this will motivate the team to put in their best. On Saturday, June 17th, 2023, Zambia will play against Ivory Coast in an African Cup of Nations qualifier at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola.
Yes, it's always good to get back with the team and meet up and see old faces again. I'm excited, obviously, to come back to Zambia and play at home. I don't get to see the fans often, so when I come, it's always a great experience. So it'll be really good to see them on Saturday. Yeah, as you can see, we're working hard. We're putting in a lot of hours into preparing for this game. It's going to be a tough game, but one that we really want to compete in and want to do well in. The team and everyone's feeling very positive, and with the fans behind us, anything's possible, and hopefully we can get a win for Zambia on Saturday. I'm excited to see you all. It's obviously not often that I get to come back, so when I get to come back and play in front of these fans, it's very special to me and my family. So we're all excited to see you and hope to get good support on Saturday.
Well, that's it. That's all we had for the news at 12. But before we go, another look at the stories that made the headlines. Desperation for jobs compels people to buy newspaper at 100 kwacha from 10 kwacha. Chief Muguni tells court that he fears for his life after accusation of being behind gassing. In international news, Malians in Ivory Coast mobilize to vote in a new referendum. And in sports news, Frankie Musonda optimistic as Zambia take on Ivory Coast in an African Cup qualifier. And now we look at the memory text of the day, and it comes from the book of Romans chapter 10 verse 17, and it says, "Consequently, faith comes by hearing the message, and the message is heard through the word about Christ." That's it. That's all we had for the news at 12. But continue watching as we come on with a program called the Lunchtime Cafe. Thank you very much for staying with us. Welcome to the Lunchtime Cafe. My name is Marco Kwakos. Now, this is a program that comes to you every Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We come to you to give you nothing but the best of what is happening in current affairs. Now, the program aims at ensuring that you do not remain behind, but you are at par with everybody else as regards the current affairs. In the program today, we have quite a number of interesting stories that are coming through from the field right now as our reporters are on the ground giving us snippets of what we do expect in our main news tonight. Also, on the program, we are going to be looking at some of the stories that were making the headlines way back 2020 and 2021, just to refresh our minds about what was happening in those times. Also, we are going to give you an opportunity to call us and give us your thoughts on what we are looking at this particular day, and that segment is called the Viewers' Reaction on the Lunchtime Cafe. So that is what we expect on this particular program, and we also do expect to have an interview with the Operation Y Vote Executive Director, Guest Nyirenda, who will be coming to the studio to come and discuss issues of national interest. So that is what we expect in today's program. So we start the program with emerging stories, stories that are happening right now around the country, as our reporters, as we did indicate earlier, are busy on the ground bringing us stories that we do expect to feature in our menus tonight. So Davis Mwila accusing the media of being sent. The former Patriotic Front Secretary General was annoyed at the court reporters who were filming him. Let's have a look at this. We do expect a detailed story of that particular incident that comes from the courts, as Miriam Kayemba is on the ground and compiling for us what is happening in the courts this particular day. Moving on, President Hakainde Hichilema has this morning received credentials by diplomats designated to Zambia at State House. Let's have a look at what happened there.
Very delighted to have you here to serve in your capacities as their excellencies from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, from Cuba, from Eswatini. We're extremely delighted that finally you have presented your credentials, which are accepted to us. And if I may indicate to you, Your Excellency, Ambassador, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that the two countries really wish to record and to continue, express to continue our long-standing relationship. We want to, through you, to thank His Majesty, the King, for the wonderful relationships that we've had over the years, and the various bilateral engagements, support that we've received, the hospital under construction. Please pass the message to His Majesty that we are very, very grateful for that support, and we will walk through the path of those that came before us on our side. They are my predecessors, 6 of them, and obviously on his part here in the family, those that were before him. We will continue on that path. Our focus now as the new government is economic development, to make sure that we embed our relationship, the strength that Saudi Arabia Kingdom has, the assets, the endowments that this country has. We put them together, we apply technology, we apply resources, financial resources, human beings, people. We then can exploit these resources for mutual benefit. And we're very, very grateful that we are in this space that we are here to represent us to advance this common interest.
President Hakainde Hichilema receiving letters of credence from diplomats designated to Zambia at State House this morning. We have details of that particular story at 19:30 this evening in our main news bulletin. So don't miss that particular news bulletin to get the details of what was transpiring. Now, Airtel Networks Zambia has donated 250,000 kwacha to the Zambia Information and Technology Authority, ZICTA, towards the 2023 ICT Innovation Program. Airtel Chief Commercial Officer Hassan Bade says his company is committed to supporting ZICTA's ICT Innovation Program, and ZICTA Director General Cholwe Nalubamba says ZICTA needs a support in order to take the program to the next level. Let's have a look at this.
Thank you.
As Airtel, we are very honored and privileged to be going with ZICTA, this long journey of supporting innovation and innovators. It's now working 4 years. I know the program started since 2016. And for the last 4 years, Airtel is ZICTA supporting the innovation and the ideas that come on the table. So as Airtel, we are committed to the government 3 I's: incentives, innovations, and investment. As a proof for the investment for the few years that we are heavily investing in our network and platforms to give high quality network, and last year we get a good spectrum from ZICTA. It's more than $50 million, which I think that make a massive development to our network quality and speed.
In order for us to take this to the next level, we require partnerships and collaborations. And that's why today we are with the key industry player, Airtel Networks, who have been with us, like Brenda said, for the last 4 years, giving us support. Today, we are here to express gratitude because they have given us more money in order for us to grow innovation. What we would like to see now, and this is a challenge to the innovators, is disruption. They've been asking questions. Why do you only pick 60 I'm told this year the pool was over 500. Why only 60? Obviously, as an authority, even if it's an aspiration of ours to see this grow, we have limitations. And that's why we appeal to industry partners, developmental partners, to come to the table to help us.
So that is about the donation that Airtel Networks has made to Zicta as regards their ICT innovation program, which was held this morning at Zicta premises. That is another story that we expect in our 19 hours and 1930 menus also tonight, and the other stories that we have gone through. So remember that later on the show we are going to be opening the phone lines to give you an opportunity so that you can give us your thoughts on what we are looking at and the stories that we are discussing today. And also remember that you can go to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, and go to this particular broadcast, because this particular broadcast is live on Facebook. You can go to that particular broadcast and leave your comments on the comment section of this particular broadcast, and we'll be more than happy to see what you think about what we are looking at this particular afternoon. Later on the program, Patrick Soko is going to join us just to help discuss and analyze some of the stories that we are looking at today. Now remember that later on we'll be opening the phone lines on 0973 167840 for those that would love to use that particular network, and also you can call us on 0968 675273, and you can also send your messages on WhatsApp to 0962 444 726. That's 0962 444 726. That's only strictly for your WhatsApp messages. For your calls, you can use the other two lines that we have given to you. So that's it. That's all this segment could accommodate. But don't forget that shortly we are getting into the next segment, which we call the Forgotten Stories, where we bring to you stories that happened way back 2020, 2021, just to remind you of what happened those days, to refresh our memories. So we take a short break, and when we come back, we get into the next segment. Welcome back. You are still on the Lunch Cafe on Camnet TV, and we are broadcasting to you live on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and on Topstar we are on channel 106. So those are the platforms you can catch us on. And remember also that we are live on our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV. You can go to that particular page, like it and share it, and then follow this particular broadcast on that particular page. And also remember that you can leave your comments on this particular broadcast. Let's move on. And today in our Forgotten Stories, we look at a story from 2020, and on this day in 2020, where we found former Higher Education Minister and Munali Member of Parliament, Nkandu Luo, who spoke to youths to be innovative as opposed to waiting on government for employment. Let's have a look at this.
Zambian unemployment levels are currently averaged at 12.57% from 1986 until 2019. Many Zambian youths are seen sitting around doing nothing better with their lives. Talking about unemployment, Minister of Livestock and Fisheries and Munali Member of Parliament Nkandu Luo has called on Zambian youths to be innovative and make a living out of it. She says youths should start engaging in farming and livestock for the high number of unemployed youths to reduce.
But at the moment, what our young people say is that, when is government going to do this for us? Where is government? Everything is blamed on government. And this is why for me, when Father Lupupa and Mr. Mambwe came to discuss this particular program with me, I fell for it because I knew that this can be a beginning of greater things to happen in the country. So, earlier on, we went to see the pigs. That is a product of youths. These youths came to my office to look for contracts. And I asked them, do you have any engineering background? They said no. Have you ever been to college, Evelyn Horn College or Nortec or university? They said no. So I said, okay, because they are going to evaluate you on your capacity. How about getting into livestock development? I contacted Mr. Wupe Banda, who coordinates our activities in Munali, and we gave these youths the first pigs, and these pigs were in pig. Today, those youths, they are called New Generation, they have over 100 pigs. And a few weeks ago, they contacted me and said they wanted to pass on to the Munali 5,000 family. So as we celebrate the planting, we are also celebrating the 10 pigs that are already on hit. Wow. And we'll just be providing them with a boa. Sooner than later, Munali will be talking about hundreds and hundreds of pigs.
The minister who accompanied Munali residents in the planting of over 7,000 tomato seedlings said the beginning of an economic revolution is now, as some members of Munali constituency have planted tomatoes to help Munali members. She advised youths in the country not to rely on government for employment but engage in farming and engage themselves in livestock. Speaking at the same event, a youth involved in farming, Chilekwa Mambwe, has advised his fellow youths to join him in this venture.
To the youth out there, I want to challenge you that the person you're looking at here heading Kalumbila with Father Laston Lupupa, Father Piri and other priests, pastors, is the former garden boy who used to sleep even in a garage after I stopped working. But I did not look to the government to say, what can the government do for me? Because one thing I know is that the government needs ideas from us young people. So I'm challenging every youth out there, stop staying on the phone the whole day on social media and saying all that you're saying. We have arable land, we have plenty of water bodies in Zambia, we have manganese, we have gold. Stop being lazy. Let us get to the ground. Today 4,000 plants of tomatoes have been planted to benefit the 500 people from Munali constituency. So to the youth out there, I'm saying, while you talk, we do. Thank you so much.
Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
And in 2021, on this very day, new Labour Party leader Fresha Swale advised government to prioritize developing the country. Here's a report. Let's have a look at this.
Are we really developing this country? Are we on the right path to develop this country? Because you cannot build a house proudly whilst your children are starving. You cannot be buying cars whilst your children are not going to school. You cannot be buying expensive furniture in the house whilst your children are naked and they have no confidence about tomorrow. When you die, how are they going to inherit what they don't know? The responsibility of every government, every administration in government, is to invest in its citizens to acquire knowledge and skill to optimize and maximize the use of the land. Are we seeing our children being equipped with the knowledge and skill to embark on national development? Let me give you an example. The much talked about Kazungula Bridge. Yes, it is beautiful. But the question is, how many Zambian engineers were part of that? How many Zambian engineers acquired that skill so that they can also build another bridge of that magnitude? None. So is that development? Can we celebrate that development? We can't. Let's look at the Chirundu Bridge. For your own information, the Chirundu Bridge was built by Japanese students. Japanese students from a university came and built Chirundu Bridge. How many of our engineers can build the Chirundu Bridge? None.
Now, during the run-up to the 2021 general elections in 2021, there were some incidences of violence that raised concerns amongst stakeholders. Let's have a look at this.
ASACOD would like to call for restraint and de-escalation by political parties and their supporters, especially the ruling PF and opposition UPND, in view of the increase in incidences of electoral violence. These incidences have been reported in various parts of Lusaka, Central, Copper Belt, Southern, Western, Jinga, Eastern and the Copper Belt provinces of the Republic of Zambia. The continued incidences of political violence can be attributed to the failure to fully implement the recommendations on voting patterns and electoral violence commission of inquiry. And therefore, ASACOD would like to appeal to leaders, especially those of the PF and UPND, to condemn electoral violence without fear or favor and without hesitation. We want to call for a multi-stakeholder approach to the issue of electoral violence involving the Zambia Police Service, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and the Drug Enforcement Commission, among others. ASACOD would therefore like to recommend that in an effort to arrest this scourge of electoral violence, there is need to fully implement the recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry on voting patterns.
Highly immoral for politicians to disrespect the sacredness of life. We've seen citizens being injured. It's immoral for politicians to hinge their campaign on the shed of blood. It's important that politicians stop the blame game. We are appealing, as an institute, we are appealing to all the politicians from the political divide to publicly denounce and instruct their cadres to stop immediately the perpetration of political violence. We cannot develop a country amid this confusion. We know some politicians, they want to use political violence as a strategy to propel them to forming government or continue forming, ruling the country, but that's not the way that it's supposed to be done. Politics is supposed to be a battle for ideas and not physical hindering of each other, using the underprivileged to perpetrate violence while the children of the politicians remains at home. It's very important that we continue to maintain peace in our country. The peace that we've continued to enjoy must be preserved by all costs, and as such, all politicians must own up and not engage in any forms of a blame game, because blame game won't solve the problem. The politicians must demonstrate leadership by ensuring that they condemn and instruct their cadres to stop immediately the perpetration of this violence. Zambia is well positioned, and so any form of violence will just disrupt the gains that we have attained economically, politically, and socially. We need to build on the successes that we have attained, and this cannot be attained through violence. So we are appealing to the police IG, to the Inspector General of Police, to ensure that it deploys enough police personnel across the country to ensure that wherever there are campaigns, wherever there are road shows, the police presence is felt.
Thank you very much. So that is what used to happen in 2021 as regards the run-up to the 2021 general elections. Now we look at a story where the then PF self-proclaimed commander Innocent Kalimanshi was talking about Chawama constituency being a no-go area for the UPND. Let's have a look at this.
The roadshow in Chawama for the UPND was scheduled to be held on Sunday, 13th June 2021, but it has been pushed to Tuesday this week as guided by the police. But a check in Lusaka's Chawama constituency found that there are no materials such as posters for the UPND candidate. This journalist was prompted to visit one of the PF camps led by self-proclaimed PF National Commander Innocent Kalimanshi. He told this journalist that there is no UPND in the area, claiming that people are happy with the PF performance in government, adding that the people are being persuaded to join the ruling party to give the PF candidate Tasila Lungu a sound victory on the 12th of August 2021.
Twalako nkamalamulo alifunye chalo panchalo wa mchalo na mweko nkamalamulo na discipline ila kuna kwa discipline alavu ilesa twalako nkofubale bomba na kuhomba dali nefe kwa ishibi koko bati kwa laba makampeni ya 2021 twalitanda nakadya n'abandi so fundelesa mfuma ishabantu olede bati kwa ground twasenda kale so kunoko musheni mwani chawa kwambira ako matufunira Yopo mwisho fika pano. Nasikia na mwana material ya IP. So fio nishiro kwa teacher wa makwati bakapunda 9 hours. Ishi Tasila Lungu.
Claiming that they have no members in the area, hence it will be illogical for them to import people.
Upitafi, tubapita bifika tinga nikafi tinga matendo kwa class ko bapita fima. Bantu nota people UPND. Media muramwina kwechalo no kulanga kwechalo nini bati oko mwishiro kufumuko mwishiro bati musifuna na mumona po UPND so itro telefwa muchawa telefwa ya na kwali abantu babo muchawa abako bachichwaisa bamuna bakai it's not muchiwaisa bamuna no mama takuli why balafunisha abantu bandi bese mukula leta abantu bandi bese batere issue chombo chikaino. So tulelomba kuli bayikainde nama members babo aba UPND kuno takwa aba UPND kunokuchama takwa aba UPND but ngabakesa cyako bati bena bezo ngo bafumpa then batuletele chongo imyaka ikala zikura besha chimo for president and then balete chongo munganda munyeso kwena nshishi befingo ufa banani bapiri kuchipapa ko problem.
Port Fatembo has accused the PF of pulling down their campaign materials.
If they are getting into the race with directing people, they will be shocked on the 12th of August, because we are dealing with the new people. While they are dealing with the streets, intimidating people and removing people's posters, the people of Chawama are not interested in that politics. They already know who they will vote for. So let them continue with the street politics of intimidation, removing people's posters, but come 12 August, they'll be shocked.
He says they have resorted to door-to-door campaign to persuade people using their developmental agenda of easing the cost of living when voted into office.
That within 48 hours of being in office, cadres will disappear in Chawama. They will not be seen anymore because we have zero tolerance on thuggery in the name of cadreism. Within 48 hours, they will disappear at Snow White, at Komboka, at Embers, at Kuku. The streets will be clean. Those that are employable will give them jobs.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
So that is all this particular segment could accommodate the stories that happened some time back in 2021 and in 2020. Those are the stories that we picked for this particular day. Now, moving on, we are going to be getting into the next segment, which is called the Viewer's Reaction. Now, this is a segment that we give you an opportunity to call us and give us your thoughts on the stories that we are looking at this particular day. Now, remember that you can call us on the numbers that are on your screens, or rather, you can go to our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, and then go to this particular broadcast because we are live on Facebook, and then you leave your comments in the comments section of this particular broadcast. We'll be more than happy to have a look at what you think about what we are looking at this particular afternoon. You can also send your WhatsApp messages to 0962 444 726. That's the number if you want to send a WhatsApp message about what we are looking at today. You can send it to that particular number, which is 0962 444 726. That's the number for your WhatsApp messages. And you can call us, you can give us a voice call on 0973 167840. That's 0973 167840 for your voice calls. Alternatively, you can call us on 0968 675273. That's the number you can call us on, and we'll be more than happy to get your response on what we are looking at this particular day. So that is the segment that we are getting into shortly after this break.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Akora kansheko alakula chancha mukero kula chekerera uchomwana nani nanga nyababutuka uwinge wangu nangatika sambe nani ingata mwishire pekani tuipushe bana fia sasa ushe umwana nanyina ingana babutuka uwinge wangu nangatika sambe nani mwe ikuchaina shenya abo mwikere nabo.
Join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to
Hallelujah. And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time. It's time! Camnet TV brings to you an exciting kids show called My Creation. Join me, Sarah Chandamagazagya, to interact with kids with special skills and talents between the age range of 9 to 17. This show will come to you every Saturday at 13:30 on Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts, and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
you very much. You are still live on Camnet TV and you are watching the Lunchtime Cafe with me, Marco Kwakozi, and my co-host is in now, Patrick Soko. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It is always a pleasure to be part of this important and lovely program.
So, this is the Lunchtime Cafe, and as I did indicate earlier, you can watch us live on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and on Topstar we are on channel 106. Also, you can watch us on our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, so you can go and share that particular page. Go to the comment section of that particular page and leave your comments as regards what we are discussing this particular afternoon. Now remember also that we are live on our TikTok. You can go to TikTok and search for Camnet TV. You will find us live there. So those are the platforms you can catch us on. We are broadcasting on all those platforms live. Before we get into your views, let's quickly have a look at another story which says the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, has fined 5 energy companies a total of about 180,000 kwacha for breaching various license conditions, which include the dispensing of fuel in a public service vehicle with passengers on board and retailing petroleum products at an odd pump price. Following recently held enforcement hearings, the ERB fined Vivo Energy Limited 60,000 kwacha, Rubis Energy Zambia Limited 30,000 kwacha, Total Energy Marketing Zambia Limited 30,000 kwacha, Puma Energy Zambia Limited 30,000 kwacha, and Oasis Oil Energy Zambia Limited 30,000 kwacha respectively for breaching various ERB license conditions. Specifically, Vivo Energy Limited was sanctioned for dispensing fuel in a public service vehicle with passengers on board on the 1st of April 2023. Further, the enterprise was fined for retailing petroleum products at an odd pump price on the 1st of April 2023, contrary to the clause 3.6.4 of their license to retail petroleum products. Now, Vivo Energy Limited was fined a total of 60,000 kwacha for the 2 offenses. In addition, Puma Energy Zambia PLC, Rubis Zambia Limited, and Oasis Oil Energy Zambia Limited were all fined 30,000 kwacha for dispensing fuel in a public service vehicle with passengers on board on the 1st of April 2023, whilst Total Energy Marketing Zambia Limited was levied 30,000 kwacha for dispensing fuel at an unauthorized plastic drum on the 1st of April 2023. Now, the penalties were imposed on the airing licensees following enforcement hearings at which the licensees were given an opportunity to be heard. However, the Energy Regulation Board subsequently found the above named 5 licensees wanting and undertook enforcement actions against the enterprises. The ERB has since directed all licensed companies operating in the energy sector to ensure that they familiarize themselves with their license conditions as well as set standards in order to ensure that they are compliant at all times. Now, furthermore, members of the public are encouraged to continue reporting any identified anomalies relating to the provision of the energy products and services by any licensee. So that's an interesting story there coming in just to tell us about what is happening in the energy sector. Some of the companies were fined for breaching some of the conditions in their licenses. Patrick, this is a segment we get comments and views from our viewers out there as regards what we are looking at this morning.
Interesting, yeah. So yeah, we'll be getting the viewers' perspective on this segment. But allow me to say something pertaining to that. Interesting issues are emanating from that statement by the Energy Regulation Board, ERB. If you look at that statement, Kozi, it gets to tell you that we haven't been paying attention to quite a number of issues. I'll give you an example of boarding buses or refueling with passengers on board for PSV vehicles is forbidden according to the law. But you know, you'd find that it happens. But again, the commuters also complain that they are inconvenienced at a time to say, can you move out out of the bus, then we refuel. You know, people also tend to refuse, because even myself, I've been a culprit once saying to say, but why don't you refuel before coming to the station? Because I think that's what is a deal. Before you pick people, you should be able to refuel. Unlike you make people board the same bus twice. I don't think it makes sense. Sometimes the sitting arrangement in these small buses are not conducive, and you tend to inconvenience people. But you know, the law is the law, and I think there the law was applied, and you are just hearing that the ERB was managed to penalize these oil marketing companies, these operating fueling stations. And this is quite an interesting story, because most of the times we see these issues go unreported and go scot-free, because they may not be punitive action is usually not meted on the would-be offenders. So you discover that most of the times we have been allowing this issue to escalate, and we just heard that the ERB managed to penalize those 5 licensees in terms of oil marketing companies, and we hope that this will continue. It won't be just a one-day off arrangement in terms of us bringing sanity in this area, because it is quite an interesting sector. The petroleum sector is also has its own risks pertaining to how you handle fuel issues. One of the cases there is where you go and buy fuel in a container. Ngatire bwanji petro mchigubu.
And you see, these are issues. Yeah, these are issues that, as you have put it, we don't take seriously as citizens. The conductor tells you, please kindly disembark. We need to refuel. Why didn't you refuel before you started?
Exactly.
Conveniencing us. And you know that mostly it's the commuters themselves that feel uncomfortable to jump off the bus if it's refueling at a fuel station. So I think that also the petrol attendants should take it upon themselves to say, if there is anybody who is going to remain on this bus. Because sometimes what I've witnessed is that they just tell the first 2 rows to say, okay,
disembark, yes.
It's okay. The petrol attendants, I think, should take it upon themselves and say, before I'm not refueling. If you want to go to the next filling station, I think that will change.
Now, I have an argument, because look, the logic, for example, of making people disembark and stay at the same vicinity, what logic is that?
Yeah, that is why.
Because for me, that move was undertaken for us to avoid accidents.
Sure.
Now, if we are to say in an event we have a fire or an explosion at a fueling station,
escape if you're outside the bus than if you are inside.
Now we have seen that in the past, Kozi, incidents of fueling station accidents, they do not affect just the area, but the entire area. I think no one survives. So for me, it defies logic. So for me, I still stick to the point to say people should be left before they get to the fueling station area, and then they refuel. Because in an event of an accident, even those people who are disembarking there just by the door, it won't be easy, because when there's fire there, it is just a total chaos, because even facilities near the fueling stations are affected. So the ideal thing is that you go and refuel before picking up people.
Why is this law only for PSV vehicles? What if I'm driving?
Now, because you want to refuel and you leave your vehicle. Who's going to take your vehicle? Yeah.
No, but look, what if I'm driving a Noah bus, and I have my family members, eight family members on the bus? Why don't that law apply? Because according to what I've read, it's
interesting. But I think this is a law that was made in hasty. Also, you remember that it comes following the demise of the mother of the later president, Mwanawasa. Sure. So now, it was because she was in a public service vehicle. Now, when we were making that law, we did not foresee others and other aspects. And remember that time, I think the Noah buses were not common. If they were not even there. We just had these highs, which are commonly known as these, which are the panel vans. Under normal circumstances, we know that even these highest minibuses are not supposed to be used for transportation. But you know, being what it is in Zambia, we still use them for public transport public transport. But that is an illegality and an anomaly that needs to be addressed as well. So now, our dear viewers, we are at that segment which we call the viewers' reaction, where you can get to react to stories that we are talking about and other stories that are making the headlines. Even the forgotten stories, they still remind us of something in terms of where we are coming from. So we had looked at some of the emerging stories, that are quite pertinent, and we hope that you did manage to grasp the emerging stories and the forgotten stories. You'll be giving us perspectives on that. And in case you are joining us, we are live also on our TikTok as well as on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel on Camnet TV Zambia. So let's get interacting. We'll just take a short break. We'll be back on the other side.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Well, you are watching Camnet TV and not just another channel, and this time around it is a program dubbed The Lunchtime Cafe with me, Patrick Soko, and my co-host Marco Kwakozi, and we have run through quite a number of segments before we started, in case you were just joining us. So quite an interesting segment in that we started with the main news, looking at what is happening, as well as when we go to some of the stories emerging. These stories are being given to us by Camnet TV journalists in the field, and they were looking at we looked at a number of topics and a story pertaining to the courts, and we'll be hearing that story in detail, where Patriotic Front, former Patriotic Front Deputy Secretary General Davis Mwira was at the court premises this morning and was against being filmed also by the court reporters. And that small clip there, we did play it to just show you what was happening. These are stories that are happening in the day. Still on Emerging Stories, we had a Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, where he was receiving credentials from members of the diplomatic community at the State House. That activity also the President did talk about the need for Zambia to continue to foster diplomatic ties with various countries accredited to the nation, and those that are in tune with Zambia's economic diplomacy. So the President did emphasize on the need to continue to foster relations that promote a win-win situation, and especially that Zambia seeks to steer economic and social development. We did look at that story there coming from Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, and also we had a story where Zicta received a donation from a mobile service provider, and quite an interesting story. Also, the donation is vital towards in improving information communication technology in the country, and we did looked at that story in terms of the emerging stories. These are stories that will be making the headlines in the news on Camnet TV, but this is just a snippet of what we are yet to have on the Camnet TV. Remember that we are going to bring you those stories in detail and in full packages, and make sure that you join us for the 1930 main news on Camnet TV, not just another channel. Our dear viewers, in case you want to join the conversation and get to interact with us, you can do so by giving us that call right now and get interacting with us. You can also send us a message and we'll be able to beam it and read it through, as well as leave us a text message on our social media platforms such as WhatsApp, and we'll be glad to just receive that interesting call. Now, also let us look at, in case you want to join us, or in terms of want to send us a video or a message, the number is there on your screen, which is 0962 444726. In case you want to join the conversation and engage us, you can just do that right now, and we'll be reading out your text messages here on Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe. And we get to look at the other stories we looked at, Kozi.
Yes.
Was stories pertaining to forgotten stories.
Yes, we also did look at quite a number of interesting stories that happened in 2021 and of course in 2020 on this particular day. And on this particular day in 2020, we did find an interesting story where a former higher education minister, Nkandu Luo, was talking to the issue of youths being innovative, and of course not always being dependent on government for employment. And also in 2021 we did look at a story where the new Labour Party, Fresha Siwali, was talking about government making sure that they prioritize developing the country. And also we did look at another story where a former self-proclaimed commander, Innocent Kalimanshi, was talking about how the PF had dominated Tawama constituency, and that it was not it was a no-go area for the then opposition United Party for National Development. And also we did look at a story of the issue of violence, where we did see some stakeholders raising concerns following the spate of violence that was recorded in the country in the run-up to the 2021 general elections. We did have some stakeholders that raised concerns. That's another story that we were looking at in our Forgotten Stories segment. We now move on. We are on a segment we call the viewers' reactions. Now, this is a segment that gives you the opportunity to call us, get in touch with us, and give us your thoughts on the issues that we are looking at on that particular day. And today, we've just told you the stories that we are looking at, and you can call us on 0973 167840. That's the Airtel line. You can call 0973167840. Alternatively, you can call us on the MTN line, which is 0968675273. That's the MTN line. And also, you can send your WhatsApp messages to 0962 444-726. That's the number if you want to send us a 1-minute video of yourself explaining what your thought is on some of the stories.
Hello, good afternoon.
We do have a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Pastor Maparo Kalama.
Pastor
Maparo. I'm calling you in Lusaka.
Thank you very much, Pastor. We do appreciate your call. Please go ahead and give us your thoughts.
My thoughts, number one, want to appreciate the government of UPND under the leadership of Wakari Mara Excellence. The president issued us that he is a man who has a mandate and is using the presidential power to ban Qatarism. You know, when you are a president, you tolerate Qatarism and you don't care for people. We remember Gaddafi used people they can come and change in South, that's out in after getting people in markets, in bus station. At the time when change came, it no Qatarism. This don't know Qatarism. It's really God has given us a leader, I'm telling you. He has given us a leader, he has showed us that he's an elder, he's a Christian. There's no Qatarism. We remember like man should know that we used to say, and you say that you are Kangai, the head of his father, no respect. But we really thank God for has answered our prayer with this government. We only pray for the economy that may God use our president to deliver according to our music promises. We are enjoying this now to see what tribes coming. So now we see unity in the country. I appreciate the church and I pray may God give him long life. He's a leader, he has showed us a leadership.
Thank you very
much, Pastor Hama Palo. Interesting views there. He did give us his perspective. Is recording, picking up from the Forgotten Stories bucket.
Sure.
Yeah, where the story there we played pertaining to the PF self-proclaimed commander then, where Innocent Kalimanshi was talking about the UPN, the Chama constituency being a no-go area for the UPND. And I think going forward as our democracy is growing, we should have no places labeled no-go area for each and every other political party.
I think that you're very right on that one. Each area should be an environment where anybody can go and campaign.
Exactly.
Sure.
Not that those titles. No, I don't think they are entertained in a democratic country, because we are all Zambians, and you can choose to be at where you want to be at a time, because we also, Zambia being a democratic country, we have what we call freedom of expression, freedom of association. All those freedoms are upheld in a democratic state like Zambia. So it is important that we also learn to always respect other people's divergent views. because at the end of the day, every other person's perspective matters in as far as governance is concerned. So quite interesting views there. You too, in case you want also to give us your views on this program, you can call us and give us your perspective. You can pick from whichever angle, in case you want to pick from those stories that are emerging or those stories that are reminding us of where we are coming from. You can do so this afternoon, and we get interacting on the lunchtime cafe. So the numbers are on your screen like we have been telling you, and you can just do so. In case you just have bundles, you can do so by leaving us a voice note on our WhatsApp page. The WhatsApp line is the one that is 0962444726. So that is the line you can use in case you want to join us via WhatsApp, so that we can get interacting with you, our dear viewers. Remember, on Community TV, our priority is you, our community members, because we do not exist without you. So we exist because of your support, and you continue to follow us and recommend the programs that we want to see on this station. At the end of the day, Community TV is broadcasting because of you, our dear viewers. Hence, we continue to interact, and we keep it an open platform so that we can continue to share divergent views in as far as governance matters are concerned.
Apart from Facebook, you can also catch us live on TikTok. Just go to TikTok and search for Camnet TV. You will find us live. We're broadcasting live on that particular social media handle. And also we are live on our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV. Go to that particular page, like it, share it, and then go to the comment section and leave your comments there. We'll be more than happy to have a look to what you think. And also 0973-167840 is the number if you want to get in touch with us and tell us what you think about what we're looking at this afternoon. You can also send your WhatsApp messages to 0962444726. That's the WhatsApp line. You can send the audio voice note. You can send a video of yourself explaining yourself as regards what we are discussing this particular afternoon, and we will be more than happy to have a look at that as well. Also, if you are on the other network, you can call us on 0968 675273. That's the MTN line. You can call us on that particular line, and we'll be more than happy to hear from you. Patrick.
Yeah, so we were going to recall two stories. We'll look at one that is from the emerging story. This is a story where Republican President Hakainde Hichilema is speaking to matters of where he was receiving credentials from members of the diplomatic community. Then we also look at one story from the emerging story. From the forgotten stories bucket, we look at the story pertaining to Innocent Karimanshi there, where he was talking about UPND being, Chawama being a no-go area for the UPND during the campaign period. So let's look at those two stories. We start with the emerging story. So let's get to the emerging stories now before we get to the other forgotten stories.
Serve in your capacities as their excellencies from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, from Cuba, from Eswatini. I'm extremely delighted that finally you have presented your credentials, which are accepted, well received. And if I may indicate to you, Your Excellency, Ambassador, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that the two countries really wish to record and to continue, especially to continue our long-standing relationship. We want to, through you, to thank His Majesty, the killing, for the wonderful relationships that we've had over the years, and the various bilateral engagements, support that we've received, the hospital under construction. Please pass the message to His Majesty that we are very, very grateful for that support, and we will walk through the path of those that came before us on our side. There are my predecessors, 6 of them, and obviously on his part, here in the family, those that will before him. We will continue on that path. Our focus now as the new government is economic growth, to make sure that we embed our relationship, the strength that Saudi Arabia Kingdom has, the assets, the endowments that this country has. We put them together, we apply technology, we apply resources, financial resources, human beings, people. We then can exploit these resources for mutual benefit. And we're very, very grateful that we are in this space that we are here to represent as well as this common interest.
Show in Chawama for the UPND was scheduled to be held on Sunday, 13th June 2021, but it has been pushed to Tuesday this week as guided by the police. But a check in Lusaka's Chawama constituency found that there are no materials such as posters for the UPND candidate. This journalist was prompted to visit one of the PF camps led by self-proclaimed PF National Commander Innocent Kalimanshi. He told this journalist that there is no UPND in the area, claiming that people are happy with the PF performance in government, adding that the people are being persuaded to join the ruling party to give the PF candidate Tasila Lungu a sound victory on the 12th of August 2021.
Twalako ngamalamulo ali funekyalo bantu kyali wama mukyalo namuleko ngamalamulo na discipline nakula nakwaba discipline nalavuiresa twalako nkofu bale bomba nakubomba dali nefe kwa ishiriko ko bati kwala aba makampeni ya 2021 twalitanda nakajana n'abandi so ifunde lesa mufuma isha abantu olede kwati background twalisenda kale so kunoko musheni mwani kyawama kwambira ako mwatufunira yoko mushire fika pano kasiana mwana kumatirio ya ipe Sofio nishiro kubati Chawama kwati bakapunda 39 hours ishi Tasila Lungu.
Claiming that they have no members in the area, hence it will be illogical for them to import people.
Kupitafi tibapita bifika tsingani kafiulu tsingani mateni kwa klasi loko bapita bifika bantu kunota kulipo UPND media mulamwina kwechalo nokulangira kwechalo ninye bati oko mwishiro kufumuko mwishiro bati musofuna na mumona po UPND so ifo tulefwa mukuchawama tulefwa ya nakwali abantu babo mukuchawama abako bachichibaisa bamuna bakayi it's not mukuchibaisa bamuna no mama takuli oyi balafunisha abantu bandi bese mukula leta abantu bandi bese batere issue chombo chikayi so tulelomba kuli bayikainde nama members babo aba UPND kuno takwa aba UPND kunokuchama takwa aba UPND but ngabakesa fyako bati bena bezo ngo bafupandeni batuletere chongo imyaka ikarazi kula besha chimufo bene presence and then balete chongo munganda munyeso kwena shishi befingo ufa banani bati kuchipapa ko problem.
Port Fatembo has accused the PF of pulling down their campaign materials.
If they are getting into the race with directing people, they will be shocked on the 12th of August, because we are dealing with the new people. While they are dealing with the streets, intimidating people and removing people's posters, The people of Chawama are not interested in that politics. They already know who they will vote for. So let them continue with the street politics of intimidation, removing people's posters. But come 12 August, they'll be shocked.
He says they have resorted to door-to-door campaign to persuade people using their developmental agenda of easing the cost of living when voted into office.
That within 48 hours of being in office, cadres will disappear in Chawama. They will not be seen anymore. Because we have zero tolerance on thuggery in the name of cadreism. Within 48 hours, they will disappear. Snow White, at Komboka, at Embers, at Kuku, they speak to be clean. Those that are impossible will give them jobs.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Is from one the stories and the other one from the emerging story. The Republican president was receiving letters of credence from designated to Zambia State House this morning, and the other one, of course, talking about who was popular and who in Chawama, and Commander Innocent Kalumanshi was about the opposition then not being present in Chawama at that particular time. Remember that this was reaction segment where we have given you an opportunity to call us and tell us what you think about the stories that we are looking at this particular afternoon. Also, you can go to our social media page, which is Camnet TV, and you can leave your contributions on this particular broadcast. We are also live on our YouTube channel. It is also Camnet TV, and on TikTok we are also live, and the handle is called Camnet TV. So those are the platforms you can catch us on, and the platforms you can respond to as regards the comments that are coming from you. Patrick.
Yeah, interesting. You have ably said it, and in case as you are just joining us, you are watching the Lunchtime Cafe. This is the afternoon show where we get to inform you on various issues happening in the country in as far as governance matters are concerned. On the Lunchtime Cafe, we'll continue to bring you new segment and interesting ones for that matter. And as we clock by a month, you will be amazed. This in the afternoon over live television in Zambia, and you, our dear viewers, will carry you along in this journey where we are going. And like Kamakuka did indicate, today we are streaming for the first time on our TikTok platform, and those of you who are on that platform, we value your viewership, and make sure that you continue to interact with us and engage and like us. So follow us. You can also recommend others to like and follow our pages. Also on our Facebook page, you can do the same. Like our Facebook page, and you'll be able to get more updates in terms of our programming. We have quite a number of interesting programs. Just talking about today, make sure you keep it on coming, because we still have people's verdict coming at 1700 hours, and we also have the news at 1930, where these stories are pertaining to emerging stories will be among some of the stories being part of that main news bulletin. We'll give you a detailed stories pertaining to the courts, and make sure that you join us for those interesting stories as well. And we also have in the evening of today. Muisa continues to do what he knows best, and that's making you, our dear viewers, out of those busy. You need to have a light moment and at least have a flexibility. We have a call.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, rather, let's
look at the text messages there.
Yes, so we have a message from Nkulu in Mufurila, and he says, "Hello panel, what is the latest news? The Faith Musonda 65 million rather missing at MOF, which is the Ministry of Finance. Has the Minister of Finance issued a ministerial statement on that matter?" Thank you very much for that message, Chitoa. We will definitely get back to you on that particular matter. You can also send your messages on our Facebook page, or rather you can send messages on our WhatsApp line, which is 0962444720. You can send your WhatsApp messages to that particular line. You can either send a voice note or capture yourself a video, or just send a message as regards what we are discussing this particular afternoon. So those are the platforms you can catch us on.
Yes, I was actually receiving phone calls via our WhatsApp line. We want to inform our viewers that the WhatsApp line is just for voice notes, in case you can record your voice notes. Send it to us. Our team will be able to play the voice notes, and we'll get your perspective. But and you can also leave us a text message. We'll be able to print it and read it out for others to know your views on what we are talking about. So the WhatsApp line is not for live calls because of the delay in our conversation, and we do not recommend that. And so we recommend that you send us a voice note, and as opposed to calling us directly. And we'll be able to receive your messages here on Camnet TV. So yeah, we are getting feedback right now. In case you want to send us that message, interacting with us, Cozy. We were talking about those two stories. The other story is interesting pertaining to the old days. But do you think, is that still happening under the UPND? What have you observed?
No. Something interesting to observe now is that there is a bit of normalcy as regards we don't hear a lot of issues to do with cadres have done this. No cadres have chased marketeers in this market. Have done this. We have seen quite some incidences of violence when we are running up to elections, especially local government elections in these various constituencies. We have, I think there has been great improvement in that line.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there's been great improvement, and the only disadvantage is that although we are seeing some people trying to mobilize, if you are in the same Chongo constituency, we are seeing that people going back to the bus stations trying to do the same things those people used to do. The only difference that it is just starting, it's moderate, they're not harassing motorists, but you know, people get used to getting those coins, they start thinking it is an authority. They start now intimidating and harassing the motorists, and that is quite inconveniencing, and it shouldn't be in such acts as a country. So we just hope that we'll manage that issue and be able to make sure that we stop cadreism once and for all. We are glad that President Hakainde Hichilema has been on firm ground discouraging acts of impunity of cadreism, but we just hope that this issue is to raise permanently, and we just sure that we address that particular problem.
So that those are some of the stories that we're looking at this afternoon. We did have a look at a story, interesting story that has come from the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, that is talking to some companies that have been punished for not following the regulations. Also, we did look at an interesting story that is coming from a State House, where the Republican president was receiving some credentials from diplomats designated to Zambia. And we also looked at another interesting story where Airtel Networks has donated 250,000 kwacha to Victor for their ICT programs. And also another emerging story was from the courts, where former Secretary General of the Patriotic Front, Davis Mwela, was appearing in court, and after which he did not like the idea of being filmed by journalists that were assigned to the court for that particular assignment. So we did also have a look at some stories that happened way back in our segment called the Forgotten Stories segment. Patrice.
Before we go, I'd like us to just have a play of voice notes that we have received, and that's a feedback pertaining to a story on Karimanshi.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to my views or comment on the issue of Karimanshi, who proclaimed to say that this Chawama was their bedroom. You know, in politics,